Not sure whether Prince Charles was impressed or depressed by his portrait. The first official portrait of King Charles since his coronation was released today. It has met with indifference. No, it hasn't met with indifference. Most people just hate it. Have a look. We'll show you the unveiling and you can see what you think. Artist Jonathan Yeo took 3 years to paint that. He said it evolved as he progressed. With all of the advisors in the royal family and with all of the controversy over the history of the Commonwealth and its role, England's role in colonisation, why would you produce a portrait of a blood-soaked monarch? It is not smart.
The artist literally said that above all else, he wanted to communicate the monarch's deep humanity. What, by depicting him bathed in blood, holding a sword, which you may have noticed there, but with a butterfly landing on his shoulder. I'm not sure whether it's flames or blood, but good grief. It looks like Darth Maul from the Star Wars series, except he hasn't got the black and red checkered face. I mean, what on earth? And the fact that this is his very first portrait as monarch is...
Well, I'm sure it won't be his last, because that cannot be the last portrait.
Do not hang that in the gallery, Gertrude.
It looks like he's peering at us from the depths of hell.
I'd be commissioning another one. I don't think there's much doubt about that. The only explanation I can come up with for that is that they had a sale on red oil paints down at the local art shop.
The artist has decided to let everyone know his true thoughts on colonialism, but in a very, under the table type way.
Oh my
God! That's one portrait the anti-colonialists will not be tearing down or damaging. No, leave that one up.
They've got to
leave that one there.
Oh,
for the days of beautiful art. Hey, look, I mean, it's marginally better than most modern art, but only marginally.
Shalom. We're the brothers from Great Millstone, Los Angeles, currently teaching with the small sanctuary in Inglewood. I'm the brother Manatazak.
I'm the brother Gabar. I'm the brother Shemai Ba.
And today, through the Spirit, we're going to get into a lesson going into the new coronation portrait of King Charles that was just unveiled today. But before we get started, we want to give all glory and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. So like I said, through the Spirit, King Charles just unveiled to the public the new coronation portrait, which all monarchs of England have done once they get crowned as the ruler of their nation. And this coronation portrait is going to be in Buckingham Palace, I believe. And it's been met with a lot of controversy so far because of how it looks and what it symbolizes. Okay, now you saw through the Spirit in the beginning of the lesson, you know, everybody's been ripping this thing apart, and they've been associating it with a lot of occult symbolism, which has been hidden within the portrait. Now, the reason we were compelled through the Spirit to bring this out is because through the Spirit, the artist that was hired to do this said that he took 3 years to make this portrait. Okay, so when you consider the time frame and the effort that it took to put this into place, okay, then you should understand that it was made with a deliberate and conscious intent. Okay, so when people are looking at this thing and dissecting it and pointing certain things out, you have to consider that these things were done purposely. Okay, Esau, one of the things that he likes to do, especially working on the left-hand side, is hide things in plain sight. Okay, so with that being said, there are no coincidences, right? And this artistic expression has been rooted in occult symbolism. Okay, and this is all throughout the history of Esau Edom when it comes to his different paintings and different portraits. Okay, and some of the things I want to point out is that as you've seen, that it's covered in red. Now this is an oil painting. Okay, so if you can't tell by the images, if you were to look at this in real life, it would have like a drippy sheen to it. Okay, those that are in the fine arts will know exactly what I'm talking about. And those that have been inspected the painting live, has said it looks like it's dripping in blood. Okay, and upon, you know, from the outside looking in, there's those that says it looks like he's standing in fire. Okay, these are things that were done purposely, and there's symbolism behind all of this. All right, especially when you go into the occult and masonry. You'll notice that he's wearing his coat of arms and all his medals, and he's holding a bloody sword. Okay, that's not done by accident. That's very deliberate. And the black butterfly that's over his shoulder, okay, is a clear occult symbolism of death. Okay, and I believe it's witches that walk among us in disguise is what it symbolizes. So with that being said, we're going to get these precepts, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and enlightening to the hopeful elect.
That's right.
So we're going to begin in the book of Genesis.
Got that 25.
25 and 25.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25. I start at 24.
Come.
Beginning at verse 24. It reads, "And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb."
Okay, and this is going into Rebecca, right?
Yeah,
Rebecca, the mother of Esau and Jacob, you know, the twins, right? Esau being today who we call the so-called white man.
So-called white man.
You're right.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed white man.
The self-proclaimed white man is a better way of putting it. But his biblical name is Esau Edom.
Verse 25. "And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment.
Okay.
And they called his name Esau."
Now that's very important for the context of this lesson, because red is associated with the Edomites all throughout the scriptures, and that hasn't changed unto this day. Now the reason it specified him coming out red is because his pigment was stripped from him and his blood was shown forth through his skin. Okay, that which is you so-called white people, the natural rednecks, as it were. Okay, and it says his name was Esau, which in the Hebrew is Ishashua, which means wasted away is he. And what was wasted away was his pigment, his melanin. Because if you continue reading on, when Jacob was born, it doesn't bother to recount how he looked, because he looked like everybody else during that time. He was melanated.
Yeah, Esau. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I would say he's the first one that came into the earth, I guess you could say, looking like that. Everybody else had pigment.
Right, right. And that's why it was important for the scriptures to identify that. Because you fast forward all the way to today, Esau Edom takes on those same characteristics as being a clean leper. Okay, he has no pigment, and that's important for this particular lesson, because this image of King Charles is mostly painted red. Okay, which is a color that's associated with public enemy number one, the Edomites.
That's right.
All right.
Was that it, King?
That's it.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, and beginning at verse, you said 38?
38, Bible for sure.
Verse 38.
38 to 40.
And it reads, "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept."
And this is going into Esau Edom weeping because Jacob, his twin brother, which in the Hebrew means Yaiquab or supplanter, basically quote unquote stole his blessing and his birthright. Now we know through the scriptures that this was already preordained through the Spirit.
That's right.
Okay, but I want to bring this out for a particular reason, because this blessing that he receives holds true to this day. Go ahead.
Verse 39, it says, "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Okay, and that's basically going into these different embassies that Esau Edom has all throughout the world. When you look at his military establishment, okay, which, you know, his might is the sword, he has an embassy in almost every single country in the world, which by far exceeds every other military and government, okay, around the globe.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 40, it reads, and by thy sword shalt thou live.
Okay, so his blessing is the sword, and by his sword shall thou live. Now, in the beginning of the lesson, you saw the news host, okay, critiquing this portrait, saying, why would a British monarchy, okay, portray something so gruesome when they have a bloody past that's only going to bring people into remembrance of their wickedness? Okay, so you see through the spirit that this was done deliberately, and the fact that they let this go through and unveiled it to the public is almost like a slap in the face, showing you that they know who they are. But do the average person, the average American or average Briton know who they are? Okay, the hopeful elect, those of us that are studious in the scriptures, that know the precepts, okay, we see through all of this. Okay, we know who our enemy is. Okay,
Got a quick insert.
you got
Go
it.
ahead, King.
Now this is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, beginning at verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
See, so that's going into his weapon, his blessing.
All that.
Okay, when you go into the horses of the apocalypse, he's what, 3 of the 4 horses?
3 of the 4, yeah.
Okay, and what's beautiful about this, the precept the brother just brought out just a couple weeks ago, the royal horses escaped from the palace and were running through the streets. And the white horse was covered in blood, dripped in blood. Okay, so there's a lot of spiritual things happening, but you know, there's a lot of distractions going on. You know, you got the rap beef, you know, with Kendrick Lamar and all this, that's taking everybody by storm. Meanwhile, all these different policies are being passed. Biden just sent another $1 billion to you know,
Israel.
to Amalek. You know, meanwhile the infrastructure here is steadily declining. Our people are suffering. Okay, was that it?
That's the point on that.
Con, that's the point.
Con.
Yeah, con.
Back in Genesis chapter 27, I'm gonna start from, where was I? I'm gonna start from the top, verse 40 again.
Con.
It reads, and by thy sword shalt thou live,
See,
and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
yeah, and the point of that being that his blessing was the sword, and he continues to use that blessing to this day.
That's right.
Okay, brother, get Psalms 55 and 21.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, and verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
You see, he'll talk a good game, he'll smile in your face, but as soon as you turn around, Esau Edom will stab you in the back, man.
That's right.
He's a silver-tongued serpent, and he's not to be trusted.
It says, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
You see that? Everything associated with this so-called white man is going back to violence.
That's right.
Okay?
Hey, a clear example too of that scripture is what happened with Esau and the natives. All those treaties that they proposed with them, and the natives, you know, agreed and whatnot. But what happened? He ended up turning on them, slaughtering them.
Right.
You know.
Breaking every single treaty and covenant he made with our people.
And then using that blessing, the sword.
That's right. Brother, get us
That was
Sirach
it, Shimon?
12.
Oh, okay.
Sirach 12, beginning at verse 10.
This is the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 12, beginning at verse 10, and it reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
You see that? Continue on, bro.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
You see that? His main MO is playing the victim and being innocent. But behind that facade, he's still that same devil.
That's right.
The scriptures talk about 3 different classifications of men. Okay, you have the sons of God, which are the Israelites, the sons of man, which are these other nations, and specifically the sons of the wicked, which are Esau, Edom. They've been given that distinction and that title for a reason. Okay, no matter what they do or what they say, deep down in their core, they're always going to be the wicked. And eventually their true colors are going to be shown.
That's right.
And here it is in these last days as prophecy continues to unfold. You Israelites, you Jakes out there, you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans are going to see this devil show his true horns, man.
That's right.
You got a precept?
Yeah, I got a quick one, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is the book of this is the book of Psalms, chapter 140, and I'll read verse 4. It says, "Keep me, O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings."
That's right. And that's a beautiful prayer to pray even to this day, because you know we're subject to the hands of our enemies. We're in the land of our captivity, and we're praying for Yahweh Shemashai to deliver us out of this.
That's right.
Okay, but the devil's still going to come down with great wrath, and even still, us doing this work in truth and sincerity, some of us may still be martyrs. I mean, we don't know what our lot is, but we know that the expected end of the Israelites is eventually to overcome this devil.
That's right.
Okay, and that's the time frame that we're in now. As the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Okay, so this devil, you know, he sees his power failing. Okay, the FRNs, the dollar, his monetary system is failing. Okay, his military might is suspect. Okay, so there's a lot of prophetic events taking place, and the prophets who are standing upon their watch are letting you know what happens before the trouble really comes. Because we're not in the time of Jacob's trouble yet. Okay, we're going to warn you about it. We're going to warn you about it. We're going to blow the trumpet until eventually the Lord is going to shut our mouths and take us off the streets. So it's important that you take heed to this message now. Okay, you may look at this as always just a painting. No, this is more than a painting. This is a declaration to the world letting you know who he really is. Okay, the upper elites, there's a lot of left-handed wickedness within their constructs. For example, you have the Rothschilds, okay, whose real name goes back to Bowers, but when you break down that name Rothschilds, it goes to Red Child or Red Shield. So he's letting you know exactly who he is, man.
All right.
You know, you still going on that one?
Yeah, but I had a quick pre.
Okay, you got it.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And it reads, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
You have to consider how powerful it is having the prophets out breaking these scriptures down, because 60, 70, 80 years ago, you wouldn't see anything like this.
That's right.
Okay, so that's how you know prophecy is being fulfilled, because this wicked is being revealed and we're rebuking him openly in his own land while we're still in captivity. Hey, read that again, bro.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And it reads, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
So that's talking about the prophets exposing this devil.
That's right.
Okay, the son of perdition being revealed. And ultimately, the brightness of the coming is when Yahweh Shai returns and ultimately takes not only Esau, Edom down, but the rest of these heathen nations and their power structure down as well.
That's right.
And that's what we're waiting on, hastening the day.
Con.
I know you got something, bro.
Yeah, kind of.
Go ahead,
Just
Ken.
real quick, you know, since the brother's speaking on, Jacob's trouble and how this devil, eventually he's gonna be full-fledged with showing you who he is, you know, and what his true intentions are for the populace of this earth, but mainly you tribes out there. Okay, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and I'll begin at verse 29. It says, "A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good." It says, "He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass." Okay, and the point is that he's enticing his neighbor, and his real neighbor, which is his brother, are the tribes of Jacob, or the tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's right.
Okay, and he's enticing you to indulge in wickedness, and ultimately he's trying to entice you into having that mark put upon you, or put in you, I should say.
Right.
You know.
Hey, beautiful book, bro.
Con. Back in Sirach.
Yeah, Baba Shah.
Back in Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, continuing in verse 12, it reads, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith.
See that? That's exactly what happened during the Dark Ages, or the Byzantine Empire. We let Esau Edom get too close, and they end up usurping authority over us. Once again, this was prophesied to happen, but the scriptures is telling you, don't trust this man. Don't bring him close to you. You know, even Job had the wherewithal to let you know, man, that he doesn't even want these Edomites to be next to his dogs, man, because they're gonna defile the dogs. That's how base they are. The scriptures called him a base man for a reason. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Verse 13, it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
So if the warning has gone out, and we're telling you to stay away from this man, if evil befalls you because you didn't take heed, we're not going to have pity on you.
Yeah,
the warning has gone out, man. Okay, and his own history, okay, speaks against him, man. So I mean, there's no excuse really.
I know it shouldn't be hard to see that when it speaks about who is our main enemy, it's the so-called white man.
Right. I mean, that's the one common denominator when you look at all the tribes on the 12 tribes chart. They've had one common enemy that is kept in a perpetual state of slavery and servitude, and that's Esau Edom.
That's right.
And that's without debate.
That's right. Verse 14, it says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
See that? That's the epitome of the so-called white man. He is not satisfied with blood.
That's right.
He damn near eradicated the tribe of Gad. Okay, and if he had his way, he would have done the same thing to the southern kingdom. Okay, he is not to be trusted.
That's right.
You got precept?
I was gonna bring out this. Can you read that latter part again, bro?
Come. Sirach 12 and 16. It reads the latter part. It says, he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
God. And the Apostle Gabar, he makes a statement often about how Esau Edom has an insatiable appetite for blood.
Right.
So I wanted to bring out the etymology for the word insatiable. And straight to the point, it says incapable of being satisfied or appeased, inordinately greedy. Okay, so he's greedy for blood. You know, so this is why he moves the way he moves. This is why he could commit mass genocide on the population, and he won't bat an eye at it.
That's right.
You know, he actually sleep well at night. You know, because he
achieve some type of wickedness.
Perfect.
There's a scripture on there.
Yeah.
That was the point on that, though.
That was it on that Sirach.
I see you got a precept.
Oh, something real quick.
Yeah.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, beginning at verse 4. It reads, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. It says, verse 5, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, and the soul not being lifted up, we know this man is extremely proud. You know what I'm saying? And is not upright in him, because that's the way the Heavenly Father created him.
Right.
You know, what does the scripture say? A false balance is an abomination.
Right.
The Lord made a vessel unto honor, being Jacob, beginning with the elect, and a vessel unto dishonor. He made the righteous and he made the wicked, being Esau Edom.
That's right.
You know, verse 4 though, it says, behold, verse 5, Salakia, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, going into his philosophies, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death.
You see that?
It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. You see that? But it says he is as hell, and death follows him, and that ties in with him being that bloody man. You know, blood is nothing in his sight.
That's right.
You know? And the way he's going to gather all nations is going to be through that sea hip, as the brother mentioned earlier. He's going to cause all to receive that M-A-R-K.
That charagma.
Now, this is the book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 35.
8 and 16.
And through the Spirit, I'm going to read verse 5 and 6.
You got it?
It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
The scriptures say that we're going to dance in the blood of our enemies, and something tells me that's going to be literal, man.
Con.
Because the innocent blood of the Israelites is crying out to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for all the atrocities that's been done to our people. But the Lord is righteous, and he's going to recompense us.
That's right.
But Yahweh Shai has to get that give back first, first and foremost. But we're going to be turned into weapons of war to extract our revenge on Esau Edom as well. Okay? But we're fishers first. Scriptures say that the fishers are going to be turned to hunters. So we're being obedient to the word, and we're waiting on the Lord, man. Because we're not just going to be docile and stagnant. The Lord is going to activate us, man.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and you going to really see what punishment is. Esau Edom.
Verse 7 real quick. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth.
See that? So with that being said and written in the scriptures, that's a promise, man. That's not written for no reason. Okay, that prophecy is going to be fulfilled. And we're fulfilling the first part of it now by prophesying against Mount Seir and calling you out. Okay?
That's right.
Go ahead and get that Sirach 8.
This is Sirach chapter 8 in the Apocrypha, verse 16. And it reads, strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight.
You see that? The brother Shemaiah brought it out perfectly, man. The blood is no consequence to this man.
That's right.
He's not satisfied. Okay? He's like a bottomless pit. The scriptures say that he goes to bed dreaming and contemplating wickedness, man.
And if he hasn't accomplished any, he won't sleep right.
You see that? So if things were to go on following that course of action, Esau Edom would not only destroy himself, but he would destroy the whole world as well, man.
That's right.
Because there would be nothing to stop him and to check him in his place. Okay, but that's why we have prophecy. Okay, prophecy says that the Israelites are going to rule next. And Yahweh Shai, when he returns, he's going to take you down in one fell swoop, man.
That's right. Wanna finish it?
Yeah.
It says, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee.
See?
I was going to bring this out real quick, just because we mentioned it a couple times. I was going to read it for edification.
Yeah, Con.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. It reads, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. Oh, it's like this isn't the right one. Because it is in the power of their hand.
No, that's the spirit, though. Yeah. Read it again, bro.
Yeah, come. Micah 2 and 1. It reads, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Iniquity is sin. Esau Edom is the man of sin. Okay? And they work of evil upon their beds. Evil goes in the bad times.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
When the morning is light, they practice it, meaning they put it into action.
Yeah.
Because it is in the power of their hand, and we know the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked.
So that's the spirit.
Damn, Salaki.
No, spirit wanted to come out, bro. Yeah.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 5 and verse 6.
And it was Psalms 139 and 19.
And it reads, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, will abhor the bloody and deceitful man.
You see that? The bloody and deceitful man. You see all these different precepts and similitudes that relate Esau Edom to blood, okay? And we didn't even get the scriptures of him eating the red meat, which is a common practice among so-called white people today.
And that's what led to him being called Edom.
Right.
When he ate that meat that was uncooked. Adawam in the Hebrew meaning red.
That's right.
He was still going.
And can I read this in this translation?
Same
verse,
hey,
Psalm 5 and 6 in the Bible in basic English. Just to make it straight, even more so to the point. It says, you will send destruction on those whose words are false. The cruel man and the man of deceit are hated by the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
See, that's plain and to the point. I couldn't even have said that better.
Con.
Go ahead, bro. This will be our closing scripture through the Spirit.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 19. And it reads, surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men.
You see that? And that's what we're looking forward to, man. Esau, Edom being taken down and eventually slayed.
That's right, that's right.
And because it's written in the scriptures, we know it to be true. All we have to do is wait. So with that, you know, Lord willing, I mean, unless you brothers got another comment, anything? Nah. Lord willing, you know, this lesson of exhortation has been edifying to the hopeful elect. We want to give all glory and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash.
Once again, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well.
That's right.
And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. This has been GMS Inglewood. Until the next lesson, Shalom.
Shalom.